Listen carefully. Everybody pay attention now. I don't know if you remember how to do this. Normally, the payment, I will already give you what the payment is. So it doesn't change. Once the bank determines your payment, it stays the same, except for the very last payment. The very last payment could be a very small payment. It could be like $5. If there's only $5 left, then your last payment will be, but other than that, everything else stays the same. You need to know how to do a table. Every single month, some of the money goes into interest, some of it goes into principal. How do we do this part right here? You would have to go back to the previous page. We did that in class. But basically, you take 3,000, you take what you owe them, you multiply it by the interest rate as a decimal. The interest rate is what right now? 4.5%. That's 0.045. Just copy this down so you at least have an idea of what needs to happen. So the very first month, you're going to pay $11.25 on interest. Okay? How much of this payment, therefore, is going to be principal? You take $68.64. You take away the interest that the bank is taking off. Okay? You're left with $57.39. That is what you take off here. I'm just showing you the work. To be honest, the province doesn't really care if you show work as long as the numbers are correct. Okay? So 3,000 minus, I'm going to subtract 3,000 from it. And that's how I get the 294,261. So you've taken care of 1 month. What happens next month? You basically do the same, except for you don't owe 3,000. You now owe 29,42,61, and everything happens again. Okay, times the interest rate over 100, which is this, divided by 12. You get $11.03. So it's a little bit less. You expect that. If it doesn't drop, you made a mistake. Then you go 68.64 minus the 11.03. And that's 57.61. Guess what? You're going to take away the 57.61 from my previous unpaid balance, and that's how you come up with 28.85. I'll leave that last one for you to fill in, or yeah, because I don't have the key in front of me right now. Yeah. I did, but I'm just going over it because sometimes students don't do homework. This is one that you fully have to fill in completely from scratch, okay, guys? If you did this, you deserve a pat on the back, okay? 39, I want to show you the one that is actually easier. You just have to know what you're doing. 39, this is the one on the AC that you're going to get. Okay, guys, if it's partially filled in, listen carefully. I know you're almost out. You just need to know how to work this. The interest and the principal combined give you your payment. So if this is blank and you know these two, you just have to add them up. So let's go ahead and do that. 83.33 plus 1,004.05. And there's your payment. Is the payment going to stay the same? Once you have your payment, it stays the same. So you technically, you can now feel free to fill in the rest. But I want you to understand it, right? So I basically took this, and both combined, they combined to give me that. After the first month, how much am I going to owe the bank here, the unpaid balance? Which of these two numbers do I subtract my previous unpaid balance? It's the 1,004.05 cents. So you go 12,500. Don't pack yet, don't pack yet. I know I'm going to take you a little over here. Now you owe them 11,495.95. Hold it. What now? Second month comes in. How would I fill in this blank right here? You know your payment. You know how much the bank is going to take for interest. So over here, you're just going to go 1,087.38 minus 76.64. And so it's going to be 1,010.74. What are we going to do with this number? You subtract it there. That's going to be 10,485.21 cents. That's how that works. One last one. What happens here? There's nothing here. It's completely blank. How could we possibly get one of these from the information that we have? And the key here is subtract these two to give you the principal portion, because you know that this number is what affects these two numbers. So watch this. 10,485.21 minus 94.67.73. So it's 1,017.48. You take this away from the payment. I know I'm fast. I know. Tomorrow I hope to go over this again one more time. But maybe you can watch the lesson and try this. I'm gonna post the key 39 to 43. Do the take-home AC by tomorrow, okay?